YouTube, what's up? Back again for another daily fishing video here on Andrew Upshaw Fishing. I attempted our daily live video from the Bassmasters Classic. It did not work. I apologize for that. I can't control the signal though. It's just not very good here. I wanted to change it up a little bit today though. I've been in the Strike King Lose booth the last few days and I've shown you a lot of the brand new products we have coming. We have a lot of other new stuff coming. We just can't talk about it yet. But in Bass Cat booth, I wanted to talk to you a little bit about fish care and the importance of fish care in this industry and why we need to protect that particular resource. But hey, real quick guys, if you have not yet, hit that sub button in the bottom right hand corner. It's a little red square. Greatly would appreciate it. And comment below, have you ever been in a Bass Cat? And what kind of boat do you own if you don't have one? I'd love to hear what kind of boat you got. We all have our thing. And maybe you're a bank beater and that's all right too. Comment below if you do fish from the bank. I've got a bank fishing video for you guys coming too, so I'm going to try to hook you guys up as well. But hey, I hope y'all enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching all my stuff. Y'all are the very best people. I've met so many amazing people this week at the Classic that are subscribers. I could not and would not do this without you guys, so I will see y'all here in just a second. Alright guys, so we're going to jump right on into this. I'm going to show you how to keep your fish alive and help keep this resource going. You know, there's a lot of great things that Bass Cat brings to the table. And I know there's a lot of other boat companies out there, and maybe you don't have a Bass Cat, and that's alright too. But today I'm going to walk you through what I do to keep my fish alive. And in my opinion, it's a process. I mean, we got to really pay attention to this resource. We need to protect our resource. I know, now granted, if you're an eater and you like to eat your bass, which is fine. I mean, if that's what you want to do. I mean, does really keeping them alive matter in a live well? Probably not too much. But we're going to dive in how to keep your tournament bass alive when you're out there on the water. So, I run a Bass Cat Era, and we have a very intricate process of how our live wells work. And I'm going to help break it down for you here today. So here's the live well that I use, okay? And it's a triangle-shaped live well. And the first thing that Bass Cat does is they use these metal tabs. It helps keep, basically it keeps the metal off the top of the lid so it doesn't get too hot, doesn't bring heat through the live well. The other thing you're going to notice is the live well is very dark. It's going to be really shaded in there. It does have a light when you open the lid. But as you notice, there's actually two pieces of pipe here, and you're going to notice that there's actually holes in the bottom of these plastic. Okay, so what this is going to do is one's for your fill and one is for your recirculate. So this is the first part of the process that I think is probably the most important. The first thing you do though is you close your live well, you put it to auto like it is there. Then I actually I turn my aerator on manual. This fills up the live well. When I get the live well as full as it will be, I turn this to 3, which is a 3-minute timer, okay? And then I turn my recirculate to manual. So I want it to be on manual in 3 minutes. So basically, my live well is going to be running non-stop, all right? And so I want there to be constant water flow, especially in the summertime. So that is where a lot of people, I feel like, make a lot of mistakes, is the fact that they don't keep water moving. These fish need constant water movement to stay alive. The more oxygen I can bring into the water, the better off these fish are going to be. And maybe I'm not a scientist. I'll never claim to be a scientist, but this is what I use, and I rarely have a fish die. If I do have a fish die, it's mainly because A, my live well is accidentally shut off, or B, I hooked one really deep or something like that, and then accidents happen all the time. So, but if you do those two things, if you run your live wells like that, you keep that water flow going. You want your recirculate going more so than your fill. And if it's super hot, I'll turn that fill to 5 minutes instead of 3 minutes, especially if it's hot, because I don't want really hot water coming in there. So that's the first thing I do. Now I guess that's kind of two things. But the third thing I do is keep ice bottles. So what I do is I'll get big Gatorade bottles, those oversized water bottles, and I'll put them in the freezer, and I'll freeze them for, I don't know, like a couple days in advance, and I'll have like nothing but frozen water bottles in my freezer. My wife it drives her crazy. But what I do is I'll put 3 or 4 of those frozen water bottles in my boat. So instead of going and getting ice every morning and throwing ice in there and doing all that stuff, I can take that frozen water bottle, I can put it in my live well, and it will absolutely help keep the water cool, help keep those fish alive, especially in this grueling temperatures that you have right now. The heat of the summer, some of the hardest times to keep fish alive. So that ice, you know, you don't have to worry about the chlorine getting in the water, because the water is going to have, or the bottle is going to have all the water trapped inside. So when it thaws, all I got to do is take that bottle out of my live well, go put it back in the freezer, and it's ready to go the next day. So that's one big tip. You want to use the bigger bottles though. You don't want to use a real small water bottle, because they thaw out really, really fast. The bigger Gatorade bottles, things like that, they're going to thaw out a lot slower, because there's so much more water, or so much more ice in them, and it will help prolong that process, where you only got to use about 2, maybe 3 Gatorade bottles throughout the day. Probably the last and most, well, third on the list, fourth on the list, whatever you want to say, is I use an additive in my live well that absolutely makes a huge difference. That's G-Juice. It's a TH Marine product. G-Juice is one of those things that I honestly, like, they need to ship it to me in bulk, because I use it that much. It's a really, really good product, and I think it works really well. I mean, I don't lose fish when I put G-Juice in there. I'm not saying it's the best in the world. I'm not saying it's better than any other product. That's just what I use, and it works. But last but not least, I use the Clip cold tags. So the Clip cold tags I use are TH Marine, and guys, I truly think that when you poke holes in these fish, yes, we're poking holes with them and hooks and things, but it's one less hole we're poking in these fish. So if you're planning on releasing that fish, don't poke a hole in it if you can. But I think more so than anything, the TH clips in particular, and I've seen other clips out there, and I'm not knocking them, I'm not saying they're bad, but they're big. The bigger the clip is, the more that fish's mouth is open, and a lot of times that will increase mortality. So I don't want to kill the fish. I don't want them to die because I could have put a clip in their mouth. That compact clip that they use at TH, it allows the fish's mouth to close. I lose a whole lot less fish, and I think that makes a huge difference. So it's all about fish care, guys. Bass Cat's made it super easy. TH Marine made it super easy. If you follow these tips, if you pay attention to your fish, put a little extra care with them. They need it. I mean, like, we're already putting them through so much stress, catching them, putting them in live wells, holding them up, doing all that stuff. Take it a little easy on the fish, help them, give them what they need, give them that oxygen, give them that moving water, and I think, you know, you'll weigh in a whole lot less dead fish. You'll be a lot happier to weigh in, especially when you win by an ounce instead of losing by an ounce. Guys, that's a wrap for the Bassmasters Classic. I hope you've enjoyed these videos. Like I said, I've met an absolute ton of you guys. It's been absolutely, like, amazing to know that there's that many people who actually watch my stuff. I can't believe it a lot of times. I'm just kind of like, man, people actually like my stuff. It's crazy. But if you have not yet and subscribed to my channel, please subscribe. I had a guy the other day tell me that he didn't even know what that even meant. You have to have a Gmail account, and you have to, once you create your Gmail account, you got to log in. I know it's a process. And then if you're logged in and you're watching my YouTube channel, all you gotta do is hit subscribe with notifications on, and you'll get notified every time I drop a video. But make sure y'all drop that comment. What is the boat you're running? I hope you enjoyed this video. Oh God, I've talked too much. I hope y'all enjoyed this video, and I'll see you on the next one.